everyone for dialing in. This is discussion number 37. It's been 37 weeks since we've been talking every Saturday morning, and I appreciate you guys coming over and participating in this discussion. So as always, this is just for our education purposes. We don't talk about any investment advice or financial or tax advice. I share my thoughts and then you enrich me with your questions or your thoughts. So let's keep it that way. I don't know you, you don't know me. So let's not kid ourselves into thinking, you should go ahead and implement whatever I say. Do your own due diligence, talk to professional advisors. Let's jump into Roblox. The ticker symbol will be RBLX. And let's build our investment thesis on Roblox. As always, this is, I started analyzing on 3rd. Right now, we'll look into it. So how this company started. So this, okay, let me give you a brief overview. Then anyway, we'll get into details of what this company does. So Roblox provides a gaming platform, very popular among kids under 15. And the seeds of Roblox were sown in late 1980s, I think 1989, when founder David and his brother, they were working on a simulation called interactive physics that allowed creation of 2D physics experiments. For example, they created a blocks and to test various to make it easy for kids to learn physics, right? So students across the world use the interactive physics to see, for example, how the cars would crash, what happens if a meteor hits a house, or what happens if you were to do a controlled demolition of a building, right? So they would create these models in 2D, and then they will simulate what happens in this case, right? What happens if you have a sphere here and another sphere here? If you hit them together, how far would they go? All these concepts of physics become much easier to learn if you can see that happening. So that's why they created it. And then they realized that it became popular among the students, and then they realized we could basically do many more things with this. So that was where the seed for Roblox was sown. In 2004, David, who was one of two brothers, he and the former VP of interactive physics, Eric, they founded a company called Roblox. So what is Roblox now? Roblox, it's a gaming platform, just like Unity or Epic Games' Unreal platform. Now, the difference between Epic Games and Roblox is Roblox doesn't have any game of its own. Epic, they got the Fortnite. It's more closer to Unity because Unity also doesn't have any game of its own. So it's a platform on which developers can create games and the users can come and play games. So it allows the users of the platform to create games, and you can also play games which have been made by other users. They have 7 million active developers who are actually creating games in this. And again, when I say games, it's not only games as such, it's also experiences. Right? For example, because games means you're always competing with someone else, right? So probably the right word to use here, it's a platform to create experiences. For example, it could be experience of getting lost in a deserted island and something that you see on the survivals stuff, right? That's an experience. So developers and creators will create that content, and the users or players, they will play this. Now they can play it themselves and individually, or they can play it along with their friends. So they got a I would say two mega trends jumbled together. One is online gaming or experiences. Other one is a social network. Okay, so 2 in 1. Their mission is to bring the world together through play. We enable anyone to imagine, create, and have fun with friends and explore millions of 3D experiences. what's the current business environment? And I will probably do a much deeper dive onto this. I'm just building my content. Is gaming is the new social media. Today we consider social media as Facebook's, whatever, Snapchat, etc. In the future, everything could get, probably will get rolled into gaming. Or let me put it that way, the amount of time that the new generation will spend in doing social gatherings within a game is going to be much more than the amount of time that they will spend in meeting on, let's say, Snapchat or Facebook, etc. The platform that we know as of today as gaming platform will become an experience delivery platform. Some of the stuff is already happening today. Right? For example, there are events that are being streamed live in a game. Right? So that's a new universe. So Roblox CEO calls it a human experience or metaverse, in which millions of users flock to Roblox to connect with friends. Together they play, learn, communicate, explore, expand their friendships, all in 3D digital world. And like I said, from a business environment perspective, forget about Roblox as a company, but from the business perspective itself, the whole, maybe I have to find a new name and won't call it a gaming, because it will be a way of doing everything within a part of a game itself. And if you want to, if you are fond of football, on I think one of, I forgot which game, 24 December, some game. And if you're interested, ping me on Slack. I'll send you the link to the article. But one of the NFL games in December will actually be streamed live inside Twitch. And Twitch is a gaming platform from Amazon. So some of these things have already started to happen. There are already some of these these concerts, online concerts, have already happened inside of a game. Not streamed live where you can watch it on your Internet Explorer, but inside of a game. And I don't think that the future is very far away where we will have, you know, let's say kid's birthday party being streamed inside of a game. Or we'll invite folks or for a kid's birthday party, but we're not going to invite them on Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese probably will close by then. But you know what I mean. I will not going to invite them to a physical place to come and play. We will probably invite all their friends inside a game. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm building my own thesis around what this whole platform could become. Today we think about it as a game, and I'm not a person who actually play games, right? So a little difficult for me because I've never played any of those. I only played games when my kids wanted to play on Nintendo. That's like 10 years ago. Wii. Nobody uses Wii anymore. But that was my last game. So I'm not a gamer, but I'm pretty excited about what this whole new mega trend that I'm seeing could what happen in this whole environment. Okay, so business environment perspective, I think this is set to explode. So huge future. So no wonder when I was trying to look for what's a total addressable market, I didn't see management mentioning anything around total addressable market. So for example, if you look at Snowflake, they mentioned in their S1 that their total addressable market is $81 billion. It's a different thing that right now Snowflake is valued at $110 billion. That means not only they captured everything that they could have done in the world, what they thought, without any competition, they probably got some more contracts from Mars, Earth, Mars, Venus, Mercury also. Anyway, little digression, but the idea is now I think why management didn't mention TAM. Because this is such a big mega trend that you can't just put a number right now on it. So the space will be very big for them to play. Now the idea is how much can they actually play? That will matter. The time is going to be huge. So I won't ding management on saying, you can figure out what your TAM is. Most of the S1 documents will mention what the TAM is. You didn't have it. I think I'll give them a pass on this one because the sphere in which they are operating, it's huge. And then in that case, I don't care about what the TAM is. Do let me know if you have any questions, as we go along. Okay, otherwise I will read through this. Let's look at what exactly Roblox has. Like, excuse me, the CEO mentioned they have a human co-experience platform. That really means that you are inside on an experience that has been created by the developers or the creators in Roblox. Not just you, your friends are there, the friends that you know in your real life. And all of you and your friends are enjoying different set of experiences. Those could be games, those could be competitive games, those could be experiences. You could create your own. So the overall, the platform has got a client, has got a studio, and a cloud. So client is a device, client is a piece of software that sits on your device. It could be your mobile device. You can play and get in Roblox on mobile, on your laptop, or on PS, a PlayStation, or Xbox, etc. Roblox Studio is a product that allows the designers or the developers of the games and the creators of the games to create all those experiences. And then the cloud is what the infrastructure that supports both of them. We'll get a little more deeper into that. So the overall platform has got these characteristics, right? Identity. As a user, if I am in Roblox, I'll have some avatar, right? I can pick up any different avatar in which I want to express myself. And the same avatar, let's say I'm in one experience, which is, we talked about, or that survival. I'm deserted in an island. And maybe when I want to move to the next experience of competing in Ironman, the same avatar, my same identity will be taken across, right? So their platform has got where you can have a unique identity, which you can use across your platform. You can interact with your friends, and that's what makes it different in terms of the whole social interaction. The experiences are immersive. They're 3D and immersive. And I can't even think about, imagine the opportunity it will have once we start thinking about all VR and AR and the VR. Right? So right now, those are all 3D, and immersive means you become a part of the environment. Developers can create and play from anywhere. The developers and creators are from all over the world. The client, the software which I talked about, in which using that you can play or you can experience Roblox, it operates on iOS, Android, PC, Macs, Xbox, etc. Low friction. You can set up an account quickly, and it is free for users to enjoy, and it is easy for developers to build experiences. The content variety is huge. So as of September 30, there were over 18 million experiences, out of which 12 million were actually experienced by the users. It's not that a lot of developers have created those experiences and nobody is using it. Out of 18, 12 millions were actually used. Okay? And then we'll dig deeper into the Roblox economy. Is once you're in that Roblox world, you are basically kind of become a part of Roblox economy, and then you can use the currency which they call as Robux. Okay. Now here we talk about another form of a digital currency, right? But again, this is not same as a cryptocurrency because this exists only in the Roblox world. So you pay dollars to buy Robux, which you can then spend in various experiences. And then lastly, they talk about the safety in terms of how they are building these systems to make sure this is safe, especially when you're talking about the kids. It's so very popular among kids. And then there are different laws in different countries on how you can protect kids, right? So they got to be really safe. So let's talk about so I would rather reserve my answer on that one. Maybe if you know for developers, we could do that, but we'll talk about what's the next growth area is, where they will have they will move away from kids' experiences. So how the whole Roblox economy works? The games are free to play, right? If I download Roblox, I want to get into Roblox, I want to play Roblox or enjoy some experience, it's free. But in order to do more things and get special items, I have to make an in-game purchases using Robux. Right? Robux is their digital currency. And this is the pretty, I would say this business model was initiated by Fortnite. And then Fortnite became insanely popular and everybody else copied it, right? It freemium. You can enjoy something for free, but if you want to get a new weapon, you gotta pay. You want a new dress, you gotta pay. You want this cool looking avatar, you gotta pay. You want an extra life, you gotta pay. So all those premium and special items, you gotta pay. Same is the case with Roblox. And when this transaction happens, Roblox will retain some portion of every Robux transactions. And then they distribute it to developers and creators, right? So that becomes their revenue. That when the transaction, okay, I will clarify the revenue and booking. So when the transaction happens, that becomes, let's say, that's how Roblox as a company gets money, and then they distribute it to the developers and creators as a form of incentive for them to create more and much better, much richer experiences. So players, they buy Robux, then they spend Robux in their various experiences, and then the developers and creators, they earn the Robux because then the the developer and creator earn twice because the players, when they buy some stuff, the developer gets some money, and then the Roblox also gives them money, and they reinvest, those developers, they reinvest Robux back in exchange for real world currency. That's how basically they will, if you have to go and shop something on Amazon.com, you can't use Robux. So you have to convert it back to a real currency of your choice. So how users can purchase Robux? User can purchase it two ways. One is a one-time purchase or via a subscription service. So this is what I like. This is not, it wasn't there earlier. This is a growing part of their business is subscription. Everyone wants to be a SaaS player that will bill you monthly, use it or not. That means it brings predictability in revenue. So there are two ways. Either you can buy one-time Robux or you can become a subscriber, become a premium member like Amazon Prime, Netflix, Disney Plus. Okay. If you become a subscribe to the premium service, you get some discounts. You get some exclusive in-experience benefits. Right? Maybe if I'm a premium member and or let's say if I'm not a premium member and you are a premium member, and when we inside the experience, when we're going to a restaurant, maybe I'll get coffee and you'll get beer, right? So you'll get an exclusive stuff which is meant only for premium members because you are part of a Roblox subscription service, right? How developers make money? They make money in four ways. Number one, they can sell the experience and enhancements in the experience, right? If you want to have a better experiences, those experiences itself are customizable. If you want to get a little more enhancement in it, you gotta pay as a user. They have an engagement-based payout. For example, premium payout, which is what Roblox as a company will do, is that if you're building an experience in which the premium subscribers, which have subscribed to the subscription service, are spending more time as a company, I'll reward you more. So that tells me clearly that company is focused on generating more revenue through subscription services. Ping, SaaS model, which we have seen growing so successfully in the software companies. How developers also make money? They make money by sale of content and tools between developers, not with the users, but between developers. Say, I have developed some experience and you really like the castle that I've developed. You're a developer as well. Why would you want to build everything on your own? You'll say, can you share your code or that portion of that experience with me? I'm like, yeah, pay me that Robux, right? Or special tools. So they also earn by selling their wares or their tools and the content to other developers. Lastly, they have also have a marketplace or like avatars, right? So I'll create avatars and those are available for anyone to pick up. Those are available in the marketplace. So any sale of those avatars in the marketplace, developers earn money from that as well. So we'll come to high level metrics again. So why Roblox is planning to do IPO now? It's a pretty old company. It's a 2004 company, 16 years in the making. Pandemic. While COVID has destroyed certain businesses, it has given a huge tailwinds to a lot of other businesses. Gaming, online experiences in one such business. Right? They have seen what happened to Unity. Unity is their top competitors. Right? They have seen how successful the Unity IPO was. Right? So, and their numbers look great. You go to IPO when your numbers are this good, right? Their daily active users grew 82% year over year. The hours that were engaged grew 122% year over year. The bookings, and I'll explain the difference between bookings and the revenue. Bookings grew 171%. The free cash flow multiplied to 292 million. Okay. So all these numbers look so great that they are like, now it's the time. Let's go IPO and increase our war chest because we got such a great numbers to talk about. Once the pandemic is over, maybe there will be some. It's genuine and it's natural to expect that we will want our kids. Will take or push our kids to go out. We want to go out in the real world. So they may not be able to spend as much time on Roblox at what they have done in 2020. So make hay while the sun shines. Let's go IPO. Someone talked about the additional experiences, what they want to do, their growth opportunities, extension of a platform, which is more better high fidelity avatars, more realistic experiences. Again, right now, everything is within the screen. How more real can you make, right? They're gonna use 3D spatial audio technology. The whole idea is to make an experience such that you become completely part of it. You forget what else is around you. Now, the next one which I was talking about as a mega trend is, and even they are doing it, is developer will be able to build and host virtual concerts, classroom meetings, and conferences in Roblox. Right? Again, I don't think this is specific only to Roblox. I'm seeing this as a mega trend, which is these gaming platforms are not just for playing games. So I don't play games. So I have no reason today, I have no reason to use Roblox or Unity or Twitch. But if these become the reality, which I'm seeing already is becoming in some way, I have every reason to create an account and become a user of any of these platforms, Twitch or Roblox. Right? The risk could be don't lose your identity. It is doable, but you've got to be careful that you don't degrade this experience. Age demographic expansion. Right now, it's a mostly a kid-friendly platform right now. But they will also win over, or they will make changes so that they can start to reach on the other age groups. And as a sign of what's possible, what they saw in this year is 17 to 24 old user age group grew faster than their core, which is under 30. So they're already working on the direction to expand their user base from kids under 13 to slightly older kids or young adults, let me put it that way. They're already seeing that the growth in the young adults age group is much higher than their core team. That's their second growth engine behind them. International reach. 68% of the bookings, okay, come from the US and Canada when it's a booking in terms of dollars. But 67% of the active users, daily active users, are outside of this. It means there is a huge potential to monetize those 67% which are right now contributing only, if you add both of these, what become 87%. So they're only contributing 13%. So 67% of users which are today contributing 13% of bookings, they got to uh, they got to explore more ways to get more money from those 16% of users. So there is a lot more opportunity to capture around the globe. Okay. They already started doing this through China. They got a wholly owned subsidiary and they got a joint venture with the Tencent Holdings. Tencent, who is Tencent? They own the biggest gaming platforms, not in the world. Let's say this is the biggest gaming company in the world, not just a platform. Tencent is the biggest investor in Epic Games, which is what Fortnite is. Tencent owns WeChat, on with there are tons of games. Tencent has got tons of games under their belt. Sometimes to me, it's like an investment holding company. So very big company, shares are traded on US exchanges, but they don't have options. So they already have a subsidiary in joint venture with Tencent. Okay. Fourth growth engine, monetization. Through subscription services, helping developers use best monetization practices and working with brands. Roblox sees greater upside here. Right? A 30% take rate is already high. So take rate is if a user, as a user, if I spent $100 on buying something, Roblox as a company get to keep 30%. I think above somewhat talked about the take rate of Airbnb. I saw somewhere 12%. So Asif had mentioned to Nirmal. Thank you, Asif. Saying Airbnb's cut is 12%. Roblox take rate is 30%. Okay. So I would say good growth opportunities. Just that these are opportunities. How much can management capture? Only time will tell. Yeah. Any questions before I jump into the financials? Okay, I like so far what I see. It's exciting stuff. Let's look at the financial data. All right, let me make sure it is not an eye chart for you. Okay, from financials perspective, what do I see? So their revenue is now close to $600 million for first 9 months, whereas in 2019 it was 350. So that's a good growth in revenue. And we also saw correspondingly there's a increase in expenses also, right? $82 million from $154 million. So they categorize their experiences into various categories. Cost of revenue. Oh, I think I have the details here, but I'll rather talk through it. If you are more interested, you can go through the details later on. It's there in their S1. Cost of revenue is the amount of money that they have to pay to these payment processors, right? Through the distribution channels. For example, if you are playing it on the game from App Store on your iPhone, they need to pay to Apple 30%. So that's the cost of revenue. If you're on Google App Store, Google Play Store, you have to pay to Google. That's their cost of revenue. If you're paying through your credit card, they need to pay the payment processing fee to credit card, which is a merchant fee. That's the cost of revenue. Or if you're using Xbox, I'm sure Microsoft takes some cut over there. That's the cost of revenue. So that has grown. Developer exchange fee is one where developers, those who have got Robux, they come and exchange it, or they are paying money to those developers. Infrastructure, trust and safety is their how much money they have to spend for their data centers, for their CDN services, for their whole basically to run the pipeline. Right? Trust and safety is what they hire a bunch of contractors to make sure that the platform is trustworthy. Right? There is nothing in this platform which should not be there. Especially it is being used by kids right now. You got to be really, really careful. So they got a army of contractors who make sure that the platform is safe for kids and is trustable. Research and development cost is the cost of their engineering product and everything that goes in building that product, right? R&D cost. General administrative is a general cost, finance, HR, all the supporting functions in a company. And the sales and marketing is how much you spend to basically acquire the users, right? So overall, if you look at the expenses, there are almost $800 million of expenses. So it is not profitable. The revenue is, let's say, $600 million. Expenses are $800 million. So kind of the operating loss is $200 million, right? So it's, if you are thinking, oh, it should be usually profitable from a GAAP perspective, no, they are not. But am I worried about it right now because they are making losing from operations? Not really, because if you look at their bookings in bringing in some good amount of money so that they can still have a cash flow positive. So let's skip these definitions. So let's look at bookings and look at the amount of bookings that have increased from 450K to $1.25 billion. So this was $450 million in 2019, 9 months. In 2020, 9 months, it's $1.24 billion of bookings. Now the difference between bookings and the revenue, because you could say, you're saying $1.24 billion and here the revenue is what? $600 million? What happened to the rest? So the way, and this works in, this is how the accounting works in most of the companies. So bookings is when as a user, I bought Robux. So I spent $100 in buying that Robux. Those $100 go into bookings. Now I'm in a game and I spent in this 9 months. So I bought those $100 at the starting of this year, right? But by the end of September, in the first 9 months, I've only spent $70 worth of Robux in buying stuff in the experiences. So while that $100 get into bookings, only $70 will be recognized as a revenue. So revenue happens when those users, those who have bought Robux, will actually use the Robux. Okay, that's when the revenue recognition will happen. But bookings means if you bought the Robux, I got the money. I got the money in my bank account. You paid $100 to me, so I got the cash, but I can't recognize it as a revenue until you as a user go and spend it in an experience. So they, from this perspective, they got $1.2 billion worth of a cash they came in, right? That is why if you look at their free cash flow is huge. Last year they had a free cash flow of $6 million. This year they have a almost $300 million of free cash flow because of the huge increase in bookings. But they haven't, the other thing which bookings tells us is, it means you already got a users who have bought 1.2 billion worth of Robux. If not today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, month later, 2 months later, they gotta spend it. So this does bring in some predictability. So you look at when analysts are analyzing the company, they not only look at your revenue, they also look at what your bookings are, which will tell us what we could expect in your future revenue. Right? So with time, these bookings will start to convert into revenue as users spend more money. Okay? So I like what I saw in terms of bookings, almost 3 times increase in bookings. Key metrics that they want you to track are the daily active users, which now have grown from 17, um, what is this, a million daily active users to 31 million daily active users. Hours engaged means how much hours those spend in the experiences has grown from 9 billion to over 22 billion, which is, I like that. And average bookings per daily active user from 26 to 39. So it means not only, the way I interpret is not only they have increased the number of users, but all those users are also spending more this year as compared to what the user has spent on their platform last year. So which is great. Stitch Fix had a different stuff. Stitch Fix had increased the number of users, but their average revenue per user had gone down. In this case, the average actually has gone up. So daily active users, right direction. This is the other metric, which is R engaged, is in good direction. Now the risk is once the COVID vaccine comes, this is what might happen, right? Average bookings per daily active user, fairly consistent from a quarter to quarter basis, but I think year to year basis, as we have seen here, it has grown from 26 to 39. Balance sheet, nothing that I need to be worried about in the balance sheet. They got a huge cash. Again, this is a reflective of the initial bookings that they got. They got cash in the bank, so the pretty good cash position. And this is good for them to survive for next few quarters. And now with an IPO, they will have even more cash coming into them. The other thing from a liabilities perspective, the biggest liability is the deferred revenue, which is, I like it. I won't ding it. It means the bookings that have not been converted to revenue. So example which we took is those $30. That means the which I have not spent on the platform yet out of 100. So this will, over time, this will convert into revenue. This is the deferred one. They can't recognize $900 million this year unless those users start to buy those experiences. That's why it is deferred. Cash flow, all is good. Cash flow from operating activities, again, it's a cash generation because the bookings are high. So nothing that caught my eye, which is we need to worry about here. Yeah. Only thing is the stock-based compensation. If you see, that has grown almost 5 times. Means they have to pay a lot in stock to retain their employees. Won't say it's the worst one. I've seen worse figures of stock-based compensation as a percentage of revenue. As a percentage of revenue, if you really look at this, it's like, what, 60 million? The revenue was 600 million, which is 10%. I've seen worse figures than this in financial documents. So overall, I won't say there is anything which give me a cause of concern in Roblox financial docs. Employees, they had 830 full-time employees, and 70 or 80% of those are actually engineers and product professionals, very focused on building the best products. 80% of the company is engaged in building the products. So who is selling it? What's the expense on selling it? Most of the sales happen through word of mouth. If one kid is enjoying it, they talk to their friends, and then the friends will congregate where the other friends are. So that's why if you go back to their P&L statement, you would see where the sales and marketing cost is pretty low. Even though the bookings have jumped almost 3 times, sales and marketing is still pretty low as a part of their overall cost structure, right? They don't have to spend too much in attracting users. It's word of mouth. And that's where the whole network effect comes in. That I'll go where my friends are, right? I'll skip through their core values, running out of time. Competitive strength, it's great. It's got a great business. The opportunity in this business is huge. Roblox has done good. But if it is such an attractive business, a lot of other companies will come in. What's the moat that they have? Network effect. So when you're analyzing a moat, you probably look at these various, high level items. Network effect, yes. I will go where my friends are. So if there is a better product, I probably won't switch because my friends are still on Roblox. So it's got a high switching cost. I would say yes. They do got a high switching cost. Do have a durable cost advantage. Means in the long term, can they produce this at a lower cost? I don't think so. And that reflects also in their stock-based compensation. They have to pay. They have to also keep their developers, not just the developers, but also the experience creators happy. So they need to pay better to their experience creators. Counter position, I don't see anything which will give, that this counter position even exists in here. The brand intangibles, yes, it does have a strong brand recall. Right. You talk to any kids in this target age group, either they'll play Roblox or they'll know some of the friends who play Roblox. So they do have a strong brand recall. And that's why their sales and marketing expenses are so low. They don't have to spend. Their brand does the work for them. Direction of mode, I think it is too early to determine whether it's expanding or contracting. But they do have some mode, especially around the network, switching cost, and their brand value. Now the company is as good as the management would be. So I want to see if management, how much skin do they have in this game? Because they are making games. So how much skin do they have in this game? So CEO David is also the co-founder. He's got a plenty of shares. So when I see this, all this, I like it that they got so many options. So now I know, okay, my interest and David's interest are aligned. If I'm a shareholder, benefit by a share going high, David will also benefit. So they do have a skin in game. I want to look at how much percentage does the management own, right? So David, he owns 2% of the shares A. Again, most of the IT companies, you'll see dual class structure, 100% of share B. So overall, he'll have a 12% ownership, which is good. I don't like ownership like what Michael Saylor has, MicroStrategy guy. He's got over 70%, which is means no one can question him. I think it's got more than that. But 12% is good. It's got a big skin in game. So it means if a stock doesn't do good, it's not only that I'm feeling the pain, David will also feel the pain. So we are in the same boat. So also management from perspective that they got a decent stake in this game. Headwinds, like I said, regulations on child protection. If regulations change, which around the privacy, we saw the things happen in GDPR in European Union. Those will continue to be headwinds, and direct competition from other companies. Take-Two, I should also add Unity in this one. And how can we forget about this 800-pound gorilla, Amazon? So those will be the headwinds. We got to see how long, how best can Roblox do. Things that we need to be aware of and which could upset our investing thesis. Management misfits, nothing. Believe me, I've seen in some S1s where I'm like, what the heck is this management doing? But in this one, I didn't find anything. IPO proceeds, no red flag. So I think there is nothing which will have me throw this out of the window. Okay. So other info, I think we talked about. So this is basically talk about that the developers are on pace to earn $250 million in revenue. Premium payout, which means paying to the developers because the premium subscribers are spending more time. They are earning, like those developers earning close to 2 million in June. They got more than 150 million monthly active users. So 30 million was a daily active users, 150 million is a monthly active users. Oh, what else? They also got a new music label partnership. There we go. So that now within the experiences, you can have a much better music. And if I want to listen to music of my favorite singer, maybe I have to spend some Robux to get that music streamed in my experience. Okay, let's look at evaluation. In earlier this year, they raised $150 million at a valuation of $4 billion. So you could say February they were worth $4 billion. Maybe they are worth $4 billion now. February, DoorDash was worth $16 billion or 14. What was it? Something like that. Now what they're worth? 68. I don't know what's the latest one for Dash. $60 billion. So from $16 billion, now it is $60 billion. Could that be the case? Airbnb, they were in the most recent funding, they were valued at $18 billion. Now it is 86. So things could change. It's not always what you were valued in the last valuation, which is not too far away though. So at that time, Roblox had 12 million daily active users. Now they have 31 million. They had 9 billion hours of engagement. Now they have at 22 billion. So maybe this valuation need to be adjusted. So could we value it based on PS multiple, means price over sales multiple? So 2021, they're estimated to do maybe $1 billion. And if it is 10 to 15x, that means around what? Let's say take a midpoint, around $12 billion worth. Or if you're valuing based on the bookings, then 10x of bookings will give them around $20 billion. Okay. Or you could value it based on what the market is valuing the competitors. So Unity is today based on $40 billion. So, and then I don't know what those investment bankers are going to do, because of what we have seen in Airbnb and DoorDash. I'm sure Roblox management would have come and told, I'm not going to accept whatever pricing you told me, right? These companies, and I completely understand, I kind of pity Airbnb engineers and their management on that they had to sell off their shares cheaply. Imagine Airbnb worked for 10 years in building the product, in growing the business, and the investment bankers told them you are worth $68, right? Investment bankers worked for a few months and they doubled their amount in one day, probably more than double, right? They bought it at $68 billion. And then now those bankers have sold it at what, $148, wherever that Airbnb is, right? This is unfair. The engineers and the management has worked for 10 years in building that company, got $68, and the Wall Street bankers, they double their money just in a day. Who am I to complain about this? This is how the IPO works in US, and like it or not, I would say its process is screwed up. So I don't blame Roblox for postponing it. They probably didn't like what their bankers might have been telling that they are worth. So it's good that they've gone back to drawing board and probably trying to squeeze a little more from bankers. In the end, Roblox, it is in a growing space of gaming platform. I don't have to say it again and again. It's a very, very attractive space. Like I said, it's another mega trend that I'm observing, but it does face a competition from deep pocketed players. So it will be on my watch list. Again, I don't like buying into the FOMO, but it will be on my watch list, and I may do some starter position, just to keep it on watch list. I don't want to go too big on this one. Right now, the general IPO market itself is too euphoric, but Roblox is something which I would want to own for long term in my portfolio. Maybe let them come out with their next quarterly results. DoorDash, I don't think I'm going to own it for now. So that's it. That's all about Roblox for you.